Hey guys, I gotta be a little quiet because my family is asleep. It's almost 1 in the morning. But I thought the next episode of Yapping with Jerm should just be me personally because with me leaving the college soon, I wanted to be more of a podcast of me just explaining how my life was and thanking people, just reminiscing, thanking, remembering those people who made me who I am today, all that good stuff, memories, just really thanking y'all. So, what's up? Episode 6 of Yapping with Jerm. Except for it's just Jerm this time. As y'all could tell, I do have headphones because my last podcast, microphone ended or it wasn't working at the very end of the video, and now I have these headphones to make sure that the whole video has the microphone. So as I said, my family is asleep, but I just want to start off by, just talking about how school was regarding pre-K to the end of my senior year. Pre-K was, the start of what I thought was prison. Sorry, my bad. Every day, going to school, almost 8 hours, have to go learn basic stuff that I thought was difficult, but that's how life works. No matter what you're facing during that period of time, it's going to be hard to you because you're still learning that. As I go off into college to study criminal justice to become a lawyer, it's going to be hard. The bar exam, let alone I haven't even gone to law school yet. I have to take criminal justice to get my degree, 4 years, and it's just going to be the start of my new journey, new beginnings. But I didn't come here to talk about the future, maybe some of the present. I wanted to talk about the past. There have been some very impactful people in my life, impactful events, and things that just changed my life forever. Freshman year was the start of everything that led me to where I am now. Freshman year was post-COVID for me. After we ended our 8th grade year, we did one track meet, and then we went on what we so-called spring break for 2 weeks. And let alone spring break is only 1 week, and then we had to get elongated for a third week until finally the school system and America and the whole world said, stay right where you are and just pray with your family. Love your family. Because COVID was bad for us, But at the same time, COVID brought me and my family together and got me close to people I didn't think it was possible to be close with. I mean, my best friend Jaden, shout out Jaden. I love you, man. We've been through thick and thin. I'll talk about you in a minute, but there was literally a period of time during COVID that he was at my house for a week and he helped me and my dad build a gate that's still up outside my house right now. That gate took a whole day, and I'm not gonna lie when I say my dad was 90% of that work, but me and Jaden did have fun building that fence for the 10% work that we did do. I mean, we had a speaker, we were laughing, no cell phones involved except for obviously the Bluetooth speaker. But besides that, we built that fence in a matter of a day. My dad built that fence, but we had fun helping him in the way we could. And yeah, freshman year started me off strong. Every freshman thinks they're hot stuff. I thought I was hot stuff. In a respectful manner, you're nothing. You're on the start of a new journey that you think you know everything about because you had an undefeated football team as an 8th grader. You won every track meet as an 8th grader, but you're nothing as you're a freshman going into your high school years. The seniors look at you and they laugh. And now I see why they have the right to, because all freshmen, I included, I'm going to call myself out, we thought we were all that. We thought we could conquer the world right then and there. We didn't need school. COVID especially made it to where, not going to lie, we didn't have much homework. Except for Miss Edens. Miss Edens is a W teacher, though we've said that already. I walked into my freshman year thinking I could handle the world, and it slapped me in the face as a 14-year-old only about to turn 15. I wasn't even held up in that much responsibility, yet I felt like the world was going against me. But the world wasn't going against me. Teachers, my parents, friends that I love, family, they were getting me ready for what I'm about to handle right now. I thought life was hard graduating. I had to deal with so many bills. College is expensive. But as a freshman, I never realized that, and I thought I was all that, knowing dang well all I had to do was learn, do my homework. But freshmen are procrastinators, and like me, I procrastinated a lot, but I still got the job done. But I'm not saying it's a good thing that I still got the job done. I should have taken the steps into making it into an earlier process for me to get the job done so that I would have had a lot more free time to spend with my friends, or to be like, you know what? Let's take it to the next level. If I'm this smart with stuff that people say is difficult, I can be smarter. So if you're an 8th grader or you're going into your freshman year, here's advice. Don't think you're all that. You may be the top dog as a junior high kid, your eighth grade year, but once you get into your freshman year, you think you're all that because you handled eighth grade in the spick and span of life. Freshman year is going to be difficult. For you freshmen going on varsity, this isn't just Sudan where I went. Shout out Sudan High School. Go in with your head held high, but go in with the thought knowing that I can't be cocky. I'm going to learn, and I'm going to hopefully have a senior that's going to take me under their wing and tell me the reins of how this school is going to work and how it's going to work throughout my next 4 years of high school. I thought freshman year was just yesterday. Now I'm a graduate of the class of 2024, going to Hardin-Simmons University class of 2028. And I'm going to take and cherish every moment because I know that my freshman year was short compared to I thought how long it was going to be. Life goes by fast. Class of 2025. I remember when y'all were just freshmen. Some of y'all got on varsity, and I remember playing with y'all for the first time my sophomore year. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's actually going by fast, or am I just tripping? No, it went by fast. Prime example, Drew Lockhart and Chase Caswell, two very good friends of mine. I met them during academics. I did persuasive speaking when I play in international extent. That's a bunch of nerd slander that not a lot of you are gonna get. But just know that one man and other people changed my life. But the main person who helped me get on that road to where I'm going now, James Markham, one of the men who turned the tide in my life forever. Funny story, I wasn't even contemplating speech and academics. Didn't know it was a thing until this man, Mr. Markham, told me, hey, we need points for the district meet at Sudan. We're going to throw you in persuasive speaking. No experience, but I had a coach to tell me what to do, and he did a damn good job, I'll tell you that. This isn't for me to gloat. I'm actually here to tell y'all how it can be so easy for someone to change your life if you just let them. He threw me into that district meet. I was supposed to wear a suit and tie. I know that sounds so stereotypical, excuse me. I was supposed to look nice. And by nice, I thought they meant like going to church on a Sunday nice. I had a button-up shirt, some jeans, and I wore LeBron shoes to an academic meet. I know, horrendous, but I won that district meet, not because of how the judges saw how I looked. Obviously, they made a comment that I could fix myself up, but I spoke my heart out. I was given a topic, and if I knew information or I didn't, I looked up the information that I needed, and I just spoke. That's another big reason I have this podcast now. I just spoke my heart off. You know, the judges were impressed. A man by the name of Jim Bob Jones, a lot of people know him. He said, you're a natural, but don't let that make your head big. You're going to have to practice to deal with the competition at regionals. I'm not going to lie. Going into regionals, I'm like, I made it this far. I impressed a lot of people. I'm not going nowhere after this. There's a lot of experienced kids going into regionals. Going into regionals, there was going to be a lot of experienced kids, sophomores, juniors, and especially seniors that are there to take their moment right then and there. They've practiced for this since their freshman year. And they're like, you know what? I'm taking this to the next level. I want to make it to state. That wasn't really heavy on my mind. Even Mr. Markham said, hey, you got this far. You impressed me. We're going to practice, but don't expect much because it's your first time and you're going against these experienced kids who've done this before. I'm like, I understand, but I still wanted to do my best. I did what I felt like was my best, made it to state. I didn't qualify for the finals my freshman year, but I found out that I loved something that I didn't know I could love that much, that didn't have to do with football or didn't have to do with hanging out with friends. It was something that I was passionate about myself. Nobody could tell me how to do it. I wanted to figure a way to do it myself. Going on, like I said, I didn't make it to the finals. The next year, Mr. Markham's like, okay, we see how good you are. We're going to get on the ball. I'm like, I totally agree. I got to work my sophomore year. Every story has a good ending, except for I was facing reality. I went into regionals, and honestly, I can still to this day say it's not my fault, but what could I have done to avoid what happened? My sophomore year, made it to regionals, got first place in district again. Going into the final round, I had a good speech prepared for what I needed to speak on, persuasive speaking again, and I got delayed 30 minutes because of a thunderstorm. Now, instead of practicing my speech in the hall like I should have, I stressed. I took the negative road. I didn't look at the bright side of anything. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to give a good speech. I got delayed 30 minutes. I went into that room and I gave one of the worst speeches of my life. Going into my future after not making it to state, I'm like, what could I have done? And I thought to myself, I could have used those 30 minutes to practice and gotten first again at regionals. I could have given this best speech of my life, but I was too worried about stressing instead of like, okay, what can I do to take this into my advantage and not make it a disadvantage? I wasn't thinking of that. I was inexperienced, as I didn't know how to handle pressure as a sophomore. So I had a chip on my shoulder going into my junior year. My junior year was one of my best, second place. I only improved after my sophomore year. Going into my junior year, a thing we like to call Texas Forensic Association. Didn't know I could qualify for state in that. It's basically where 1A through 6A, you can qualify through different tournaments to go to state. And I needed a certain amount of points to qualify for state, and I did. And it really motivated me to increase my speaking ability. And throughout my junior year, of course, getting hurt in the football, long story, that could be for another episode. I really needed to focus on academics. If I couldn't do football, I couldn't do what I loved, I was going to focus on academics. And I did. I went to academic meets on Saturdays. That's when they're usually held. And in our little town, Sudan, we're always far away from where we need to go. So I have to be there at 6, 5:45, sometimes even 4 in the morning, just so we can leave, sleep on the road, and prepare for our tournament. I had never gotten first up to this point. And this isn't going to me telling how I got first. I did get first one time. I got enough points to qualify for TFA State, which was an amazing experience. Thank you, TFA. I learned from a bunch of other kids that I thought as competition, and obviously they saw me as competition too, but I learned what I could fix and what I shouldn't do in my speeches. And TFA State was just a new experience for me. About thousands of kids in one hotel competing for different events. These kids are passionate in what they do too, like I was. And it really motivated me to be more passionate in what I was doing while doing it academically. These kids were experienced. Some of them were prodigies as freshmen, and they were amazing. Of course, I was doing my own thing, trying to practice on my own speeches, but I was still a little bit inexperienced, and I was trying to compare myself to other competition instead of improving on my own self. And it kind of led to a downward spiral of me not making it to the breaking rounds my junior year at TFA State. But again, it was a learning experience because I was still a couple weeks away from being able to qualify for UIL State. Fast forward, TFA State is over. Best experience of my life. One of the best experiences of my life, to be correct. Going into district, I have high hopes. District, I don't take it lightly. There could be a prodigy like how I was my freshman year trying to take that district title away from me. So I practiced really hard, harder than I ever have for a district meet. Got first, went into regionals. I was motivated. Got first at regionals my junior year, qualified for state. And different story, I made it to the finals. But I had never made it to the finals, and it was quite literally an average speech, like what our Gen Z call it, mid, you know? It was a mid speech. I got fourth at state my junior year. And again, I didn't focus on the fact that I improved. I was just mad that I got fourth place. We'll fast forward into my senior year. Football starts. I get hurt again. I'm like, okay, I really need to take academics seriously. And I did. I went to TFA State again, one place off from qualifying for a break round. But shout out Chase and Drew. They made it to the finals at TFA State in duo with their stepbrothers piece, which is amazing, by the way. Some of you may know that, some of you may not. Regardless, TFA State taught me even more my senior year because I was already very passionate on what I wanted to do. I wanted to speak better, be better. Fast forward, 4-time district champ in persuasive speaking. Now regionals, shout out Jolie Dyke. She beat me at regionals. I didn't give one of my best speeches, but it still got me second at regionals. So I was a 3-time regional champion. No, 2-time. I said I didn't qualify my sophomore year. So I'm a 2-time regional champion, but that second place really ate at me. But I already knew what happened last time. I wasn't going to let it eat at me to the point where I'm like, damn, I'm not going to do good no more. I practiced my butt off because I knew I could do better. Went to state. I was in the gauntlet room from the prelims. Logan Wells, an amazing speaker. Amir, I don't know his last name, but he was an amazing speaker. We got top 3. Logan first, me second, Amir third. Going into the finals, I got second place. Ranked second in state for persuasive speaking my senior year. Logan Wells, of course, the amazing speaker, got first once again. 2-time state champ back to back. Amir got third, and I looked at myself and I said, looking at the competition, I'm like, these are the people that brought me to where I am today. Instead of trying to compare myself to them, I improved on myself finally my senior year. And they got me second place. I looked at the bright side finally, and I'm like, I'm ranked top 3, second place to be exact, in persuasive speaking. I worked so hard for this. I need to enjoy the moment before I start procrastinating on it and telling myself I need to do better. I took the moment in, I celebrated it. Jonathan Robertson, one of the best men I've ever known. My when I play teacher was so proud of me. And I saw how proud of me he was. My mom was proud of me. My dad was proud of me. Everyone that I loved was proud of me, except for myself. I was still eating at myself for second place. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. I'm going to take my time to celebrate and then try to improve, even though I would have already graduated. I couldn't do persuasive speaking again. But like I said, I'm going to study to be a lawyer. So what can I do to improve my speaking ability? Second place at state's not bad. But there was a little more details about my junior year and senior year that I didn't include. I qualified for nationals twice, NSDA nationals, National Speech and Debate Association. More of an amazing experience than TFA state. It was one of the best, to say the least. I made it to nationals my junior year, Phoenix, Arizona. Boy, it was hot. We were in our suits for hours. 4 rounds the first day, insane. Of course, Drew and Chase, prodigies of Sudan High School, all Americans. They made it to NSDA nationals, NSDA with me, and we stayed in a pretty Airbnb. But the Airbnb wasn't what I was focused on. I was focused on competing. But them kids are built different. And they really helped me improve going into my senior year, which helped me qualify for nationals again. And when I qualified, this time it was at Des Moines, Iowa. Very much a good experience again. But I also realized that I'm not the only one as passionate in speaking as some of these kids. Some of these kids are more passionate, if not passionate enough to where I am motivated every day to continue improving my speaking ability, even though I can never do a speech and debate tournament again. These kids are what made me what I am and what the man I am today. They helped me compare myself to them, which I should have never done, but they helped me improve myself in speaking. In his DA Nationals, it wasn't just the students. Like I said, Mr. Markham, he left after my junior year to go to Florida, but he took the effort to come to state with us my senior year, even though they had to fly him out from Florida, went to nationals with us. Fun fact, our one act play group my senior year made it to state for the first time in 9 years. I went out with a boom and I loved it. Even with all the disadvantages that I thought were there, I still went out with a boom and God was leading me down the right road. We made it to state. We got sixth, but hey, as a comedy piece for a two-way school against all the competition that was there, we did amazing. I mean, there were some kids like my boys, Jabrin and Marcelo, bunch of freak athletes, never thought they would be one-act players. Well, all it takes is a little persuading and a little opening a door that they never knew was there. Jabrin, but especially Marcelo, can act. And they were a big reason why we made it to state. Obviously, the biggest reason being Chase and Drew. But when it came to one-act play, it was a team thing. And as a team, we did amazing. And we did outstanding. I mean, there wasn't a meet. Maybe there was. There wasn't a one-act play meet where a Sudan kid didn't get best performer. I mean, humbly, we were that good. But yeah, academics saved my life. And specific people, Drew, Chase, Mr. Markham, Mr. Robertson, even Miss Robertson. She really had nothing to do with one-act play. And no, actually, she had a lot to do with one-act play. I take that back. But she wasn't really a coach to me for academics, but she always traveled with us. She was like a mama to me while I was at academic meets because my mama couldn't be there. And my mom was very supportive, one of my biggest fans. Sometimes I felt like she felt underappreciated, but I was just so locked in. I know that sounds like an excuse, but I was just so locked into my events that I never knew how to say thank you. I was too busy on what my next move was. And I think that's how life is. It's work-life balance. Sometimes I needed to realize and say thank you. It's a quick 3 seconds of me saying thank you and another 30-second conversation of I love you, blah, blah, blah. But I was so locked in that I wasn't doing much work-life balance. I was trying so busy to do work balance because I felt there was so much to improve. But I really needed to work on my work-life balance. And it still got me good placings, but I also needed to realize there's those people who motivated me to do what I did. So I needed to thank them. There were so many people that I needed to say thank you to, like Drew, Chase, my mom, dad, all my family, all the people who believed in me and my academics, Facebook moms. They were my biggest fans on Facebook besides my obvious mom. They're like, we love you, Jerm, good luck. There was even a point for when we qualified for state and when I play after coming back from regionals, most of our community came to congratulate us. It was like 12, I think. I could be so off, but it was late at night. We got back late and there were people there to congratulate us when they could have been asleep. So that really just showed me that it's not just me who's believing in myself to do what I could do best. There's so many people along the road that helped me believe in myself. Now, obviously, academics was a big reason I'm successful the way I am now. But there's coaches, whether it was basketball or football or even track, that really made me into the man I am today. Ron Sanders, an amazing man who now goes to Friendship Heritage Middle School. He's a assistant principal, I believe. He was my defensive coordinator throughout my freshman and senior year and was there throughout my eighth grade year for football. He was an amazing man. He taught me discipline on the field, and he showed me that not everything's going to work out, but if you listen to your coach is 99.9% of the time right. If he says life's going to be hard, but 2 days is going to be harder, he means it. But he always had sayings. He was funny. He was a funny guy, but he meant business on the field. It was a whole different person. He refuses to admit it, but Ron Sanders was a different man on that football field. He was a, a guy who you could laugh with in the classroom sometimes, but on the field, he had a mission, and that was to win and be the best defensive coordinator in the entire country, not just the state or the little two-way division we're in, the country. He did his job perfectly. I honestly think our defense was one of the best in the state at that point, my junior year, even senior year, even though I got hurt. He just taught me how to be a man, besides my obvious father, who's done a lot for me. On the field, he taught me that not everything's going to go your way, but it's up to you how you decide to proceed your life on that event. If I missed a tackle, Bovina, I wasn't doing good on offense, but Coach Sanders told me pick it up on defense, and your offense is going to go with it no matter what. He was right. This was my junior year. We had a close game, but we beat Bovina. Defense carried the game, and I remember I told him, "Thanks, coach." And he's like, "You just listened. I'm here to coach you. You did all the work." And that's how I know he's the most selfless man on the field. He always gave praise to his students, his athletes before himself. And we were always like, nah, Coach Sanders is the one who told us how to do it. Without his guidance, we wouldn't have done it. So Ron Sanders is a very amazing man. And since we're on the topic of coaches, there's plenty of other coaches I could name, but here's a few that really did impact my life. Coach Alfonso Franklin. He is now a coach at Abilene, used to be at House Center. When I was younger, I did deal with bullying. It was very bad. He taught me how to use that anger athletically and mentally fix myself. He thought he didn't have that much of an impact on me when he left, but boy did he. He ranks top 10 of all time, maybe top 5. He got me through a lot of stuff while in school, and he just impacted my life very well. Even though he started coaching girls basketball, I hope he knows that he did a lot for me that he didn't know he did. Besides my parents, because my parents know that I love them. I'll get to them soon. There's a lot of people I got to thank that weren't at home living with me that really impacted me. Ron Sanders, Alfonso Franklin, Rocky Wynn, Coach is Crosbyton now. He was the basketball coach for a couple of years, and he took the effort to go to our junior high tournaments for basketball, even though he was the varsity head coach for a couple of years, and he just impacted our lives, especially mine. He he told me how to be a basketball player, not just physically, but mentally be a team player and mentally know what I can do personally. He was a good man. He coaches Crosbyton now. Go Hornets. But anybody who has the privilege of having Fonzo, Ron, Win, you're lucky, because those are very good men. And I know that this next man that I'm going to talk about isn't very much of a coach. He was an AAU basketball coach to me, but he still impacted my life a lot. Trevor Williams from Littlefield, Texas. I used to play for this basketball team called Rain, which, by the way, we used to play against when I was on the Sudan AAU basketball team, and they were stacked. And going into my first practice, I remember, funny story, my mom said that she tried texting Trevor if I could be on their AAU basketball team, but he said he was already full, the roster was full, and there was nothing he could do. So I took it into my initiative to text him personally and be like, hey, I know I can't be on the team, but can I at least get some practice in? Because going into high school, I really want to improve my basketball game. And he was like, okay, sure. He texted my mom, and my mom got mad at me, and he was like, you don't get mad. He took it into initiative to text me himself. Went to the practice. I was a little out of shape, I'm not gonna lie, but I did good. I remember that he's like, you're gonna come to Colorado with us? And I was like, I thought I was just here to practice. Deceived me. I was on the basketball team throughout the whole summer, and kids like Omar, Q, Jabrin, Nomar, a bunch of other kids I could name, but it's nighttime, I'm tired. We balled out. I mean, friendship tournament against Impact. Me and Nomar had a game for our debut of like a finals in the tournament. And Trevor was just, he was that man, let me tell you. He would get in your face, but he would also tell you how much he believes in you. So he made you into a man at like as an eighth grader or a seventh grader on an AAU basketball team. We were one of the teams to beat when it came to any tournaments. Now, Trevor off the court, he was also a very good man. He would give you life advice if you needed it. He wasn't just a coach, he was a life coach. And there's a lot he taught me on and off the court. And I thank you, coach. I know it's weird to call you coach because you were my AAU basketball coach, but I'm going to know you as coach. Anybody who was a coach to me, you're always going to be coach. And well, quite frankly, those men really impacted my life in ways that I didn't know could be impacted. I had a bunch of people who showed me the right path of the road, whether it was academically or athletically. Now, on to my parents. My mom, I love you, mom. We've had a lot of ups and downs, especially my earlier years of my childhood. Um, Very stereotypical. I lived with my grandparents for about 7 years, and it changed my life, and it changed her life. We both turned our lives around for the best, or what I think is the best. And when I tell you we've had our ups and downs, we have a lot of bad arguments. But one thing is that we still love each other at the end of the day. And I love you, mom, a lot. And I hope you know that when I leave for college, I will be sad. But at the same time, this gives us time to really look back on the bad times and be like, how could we have avoided those bad times? And when we miss each other, when we see each other again, we'll forget those bad times even happened. And I just wanted to say thank you for always believing me, whether it was academics or athletics. You really were a cheerleader for me no matter where it was. And if you know my mom, you could always hear her in the stands no matter what it was. She was cheering on them, all the other kids, including me. If you know my mom, you're basically one of her children. And my father, uh, John, he came into my life when I was 4. He could have easily been like, "Look, woman, I don't want to marry you if you already have a kid," but he took me in his own. And we've definitely had our ups and downs. Sometimes we almost fought, but this was like when I was older. When I was younger, he took care of me, and he still does. But at the end of the day, he decides to be a father to me, and it takes a lot of guts for a man to do that. Even with me not being his blood, I feel like I am his blood. I even maybe picked up his RBF, but yeah, he's been there since basically day one, and he's helped me through a lot. He taught me how to be a man, and as a man who doesn't show emotions, he told me to always express my emotions because it's going to help me get through what I need to. But he also taught me how to be a man and get through it because not everybody's going to want to help you sometimes. Sometimes you got to push through it yourself. So I love you, Dad, and thank you for everything you've done, whether it was spend money on me or teach me how to be a man. To my brothers, DeAndre and D'Angelo, the ones that I live with. I have a lot of other siblings, but the ones that I've lived with, DeAndre, we've had more downs than ups, man. I know. We didn't grow up too close. We had different minds, and we fought a lot. But I love you to death, man. I would can't say that, but I would do some very evil things to somebody for you, bro. I love you. D'Angelo, what people call my mini me, um, we have had a lot in common. We still do. We've had fun times. You put me on Fortnite. I put you on a lot of things, and I love you too. I'll do anything that I would do for DeAndre to you also. I love both y'all. Um, as your big brother, I'm like a third parent to y'all, and I'm glad I am. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for making me into the brother I am, teaching me how to be a parent, because having siblings is like learning to be an early parent. And they've taught me a lot how to be patient, how when to get onto a kid, and I love y'all to death. I hope y'all know that. On the topic of my brothers, there's a lot of other guys that I can also include as a brother in my life. And quick warning, if I don't include your name, don't take it personally. One, it's nighttime, and two, I have a lot of people who have impacted my life. But I'm trying to think of the main ones, so don't take it too personally, please. Uh, Man that by the name of Jaden Conley, day one for real, like pre-K. We met in pre-K, and to this day, 18-year-olds were best friends. I can walk into his house unannounced. He can walk right now into my room unannounced and see me doing this podcast. No big deal. I love you, bro. You've always had my back. We've never had anything in common except for a few things, but I'm goofy. You're not. I'm goody two shoes, like to do this and do that. You're like, hey, let's get in some trouble, and I'll be like, okay, I'll get us out. But I that's what made us best friends, man. We never had anything in common, but I had your back. You had mine. 24/7. Throughout all the BS we had to put up through each other, the weird fights, we stayed best friends, man. I love you to death. And good luck with your daughter. Hi, Kaya. Christian Castillo, my cousin, my white alternative, should I say. He he's what I like to call another brother. Even though we're cousins, we've grown up the trenches. And he's really been a brother to me since that day that we first met as cousins. When we were little, we used to like to get these toy trucks he had and go dig out dirt, when cell phones didn't exist, and we just bonded. To this day, I still love Christian. He's like a brother to me. We joke around with each other, talk about girls, teenage stuff. He's about to start his senior year. He's gonna ball out. Jason Pearson knows what's up. He's gonna be a good asset to Roosevelt football. I love you, man. You're like a brother to me. I hope you do good in football, but always remember, I'll have your back. And if anybody wants to mess with you, I don't need no names. Just tell me a time, place, and when. I'll drive from Abilene. Don't let me know, brother. And well, I had a lot more female cousins than male cousins, so that led me to being very overprotective of my female cousins, and also then being very psychotic when I tell them a female's messing with me. Starting off with, I can say who my favorite cousin of all time is, and that is Brianna. Brianna, if you see this, I love the freak out of you. You're like a sister to me. You're my female cousin. You've taught me how to talk to girls and tell me when to be a gentleman, but you also know I'm goofy and you don't want any girl to not like me for who I am. You told me to be myself, but to be a gentleman also. And also, we've just had fun times, We grew up. You've had my back a lot. I've had your back a lot. And I guess we bonded because I'm not going to lie to y'all guys. Me and my cousins were not very close back then. I had some maturing to do, but that's for another episode. I love the death out of my cousins, and I love the death out of my family and my other family members, like my brother, my mom, my dad, my aunties, my uncles. They're a big reason where I am today. So going to my other cousins, Carissa, I love you. Caitlin, I love you. Alyssa, I love you. Savannah, I love you. Danielle, I love you. Dante, I love you. Ariana, I love you. Liliana, I love you. I don't think I missed anyone because literally everyone that I just named that wasn't Brianna or Christian are the rest of my cousins or my brothers. We are a big family, but I love them to death. They love me. Even if we're all different ages, us Castillo, Sanchez, Ronnebergs, Callaways, Jaron and JJ, I love y'all. There's too many last names, I'm sorry, but we love each other to death and we'll defend each other no matter what. Y'all were my fun side. I could take a break from life, academics, football, and just have a blast with y'all. And I thank y'all for always giving me that time to just be a teenager, a kid. With them, it's always a fun time. I love y'all to death. On to different people that have made an impact on my life. Teachers specifically, we're going to start off with teachers that I wasn't sure liked me, but I love them to death now. They're a big impact. They've taught me a lot of things going into school. Ms. Wilson. Now, I'm not sure she'll see this, but I made a little mistake my 4th grade year. I was disciplined, but I grew up. And now I'm a big impact on a lot of kids' lives now. If you're a kid and you're seeing this and you know Jerm for being a senior that I was, told the elementary kids to stay in school, blah, blah, blah. I'm basically unk. Shut up. Those teachers disciplined me. Miss Wilson, Miss Lloyd, Miss Edens, a lot of other ones. But those are the ones that I thought hated me. But now they love me more than I thought they could have. Oh, Mr. Martin. Shout out Mr. Martin. Roach. They've impacted me tremendously. Good laughs, good times, some disciplined times. But they know I'm a teenager and I make mistakes like any regular teenager, but it never stopped me from being myself. And they never wanted me to stop being myself. They just wanted me to change for the better. And I appreciate that. And thank y'all. Teachers, family, friends. There's a lot of other friends I could name, but I can't give a life story on all of them. But if I name you, you really had an impact on my life. And well, you probably were close to me with my mom. Salvador, love you, bro. Trent, love you, bro. Ryan, love you, bro. Matthew, love you, bro. Tice, Um, Jonathan. Jonathan's a year younger than me, but he's up on that list. We're family at this point. Alex Conley. He was a big brother to me. There's a lot of kids to name. Caleb Robinson, Caleb Gretkin. I grew up with a lot of kids in high school that I got close with. Some that graduated. Eric Munoz, Beto Diaz, even Anthony Rodriguez. We had bumping hands all the time, but we grew up. Michael Lamone, Joe Lamone. I did when I played with them for a few years. Wonderful guys. These are just people that I was friends with, that I could get along with. Kincaid. Oh, even Addison. And these people were just people that I could take a break from life with. Laugh, even just have a conversation with. Like I said, if I miss your name, I'm sorry. There's just a lot of you that I'm friends with, and it's coming from the back of the brain right now. It's nighttime. There were a bunch of females who impacted my life too, because you can't you can be friends with females and not have a crush on them. Grow up. But people like Valerie, Mello, Blessy, I'm gonna go as far as even saying Mia. She was friends with my cousin, but she was funny. And a bunch of others. Grayson, Stevie, Landry, Cambry, Jaren, Victoria. There's too many to name from when it comes to males and females. But I'm trying to remember fondly of who I was friends with. Thank you to all of y'all for giving me a good high school career or junior high career. I really do appreciate y'all for always allowing me to be myself. Sometimes I know it was too much, but y'all still appreciated me for who I am at the end of the day. I'm nonchalant. I don't sugarcoat. If I have something to say, I will say it. Sometimes unannounced and you don't ask me to, and I apologize. Sometimes. But still, I'm Jerm, and I'm gonna forever be Jerm. You can't take that away from me, and you can either love me, like some of the people most of the people I named, and more that I haven't named, or hate me. I have a lot of haters, but it used to make me want to change, but I'm not gonna change, bro. You're gonna have to love me for who I am. But regardless, thank you to my football teammates starting from freshman year to senior year. Thank you to my academic friends from my freshman year to my senior year. Thank you to my parents, my brothers, my cousins, my uncles, my aunties. Thank you for just giving me a life of learning and fun. I didn't talk about most of my uncles. Sammy, um, I'm gonna kind of put my heart on my sleeve here. Um, I was never really close to Sammy and Heather, my tia, my tío, on that side of the family. I had a lot of growing up to do as a kid. I made some bad decisions, but I finally grew up heart to heart. We realized that I could be a good kid, and I bonded with them. I go to their house unannounced sometimes. They took me in as one of their children, and they love me for who I am, and I love y'all. Tia Brenda, you are like a mother to me, you know? I don't know what makes you love me so much, but just know I love you and thank you for all the food you've given me, for all the times I just could talk to you, for all the lunch breaks during work or school, or all the times I just went to your house unannounced. I love you so much and thank you for everything you've done. Tia Alma. Whoa, Tia Alma. You're a goofball, to say the least. I got my funniness from you and Grandpa, and we could just laugh all the time. Thank you for always having my back and loving me like any other Tia would. And I love your daughter so much. Grandpa, I definitely got my sense of humor from you. You're a funny guy. I love you so much. You are just, how do I put this? You're a big reason I can take a joke. I used to not have thick skin. Not gonna lie, sometimes I take stuff too personal still, but I know what a joke is now because of you. You make some jokes that I'm like, I hope he's not serious. Where I finally grew up and I'm like, man, that's just grandpa. Grandma, I love you so much. Te quiero mucho. Gracias por todo. That's all the Spanish you're gonna get, guys. I'm sorry. um, you fed me as a kid. You raised me for 7 years with grandpa. And thank you for loving me. Always loving me and just treating me like I'm one of your own. You're an amazing grandma to all of us, and we love you, especially me, because this is what I'm talking about. But besides all that, all those people are to thank for where I'm going now. I am going to Hardin Simmons University, leaving August 20th, and I'm going to study criminal justice, and I am going to become a lawyer. I don't want to give up. God may have different plans, but from my perspective, I know it sounds selfish, but I'm going to work on what I know best. God can handle the rest, whether it's guide me directly to a different path or help me go down the one I'm wanting to go down. But my plans are like God's plans, and only He can fix what He needs to fix. So please, no praying on my downfall. Please. But on this sixth episode of Yapping with Jerm, I just really wanted to put my heart on my sleeve. Thank all of y'all. And well, just let y'all know how much y'all. Now, there's one random guy I want to talk about who, Before anything, yeah, I know my microphone just shut off. I'm sorry, guys. It sounded like it was on with my headphones on. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. I think my headphone, whatever. Caleb Swafford and Mrs. Mama Swafford. I didn't forget about y'all. I almost did. I know, my bad. I love y'all. Thank y'all for everything y'all did. Really, I never talked too much. We were just, we were like friends because we're both Negroes at Sudan. And well, it's fun to be a black guy at Sudan. Marcelo King. I was already good friends with the guy starting when we started playing football together. We were friends junior high year. I was an eighth grader. He was a seventh grader, blah, blah, blah. After I graduated, I got a job at the school, and so did he. And oh my gosh, this guy is the funniest guy I know. He makes nonchalant jokes, and it's just funny. We got close. Um, there were plenty of times where we had sibling type arguments in his little Big Bertha or my Topanga. If you know, you know. And it was just funny, bro. He put me on taco sauce from all sorts. I thought taco sauce was disgusting. Now I'll eat that on a regular with chicken bites. Shout out you, Marcelo. You're a good guy. I hope one day a girl realizes that and you actually take something serious, you know? Not right now. Focus on football and all that. But one day settle down and one girl will finally love you for being goofy and just overall good guy. Shout out to you, Marcelo. I got close to you during the summer and I hope you do well. Um, Basically, just thank you to all those people. As I go into my new beginnings, leaving August 20th, starting August 21st, classes start August 26th. I know it's a bunch of details, but I just wanted to let y'all know how much I appreciate y'all. From the football team to my academic team to my coaches to my parents to my friends to my best friends to my cousins to my. You get the gist. Thank y'all for everything y'all done for me. I love y'all to death. Um, y'all, y'all taught me a lot of lessons, whether it was negative or positive. And I guess thank you to some of those females too that were in my life for a little bit and taught me something that needed to be taught before I went into the real world. So thank you to all of y'all, even those that count as enemies. I learned how to handle those situations as a mature man. I'm not fully matured, obviously. I'm still trying to learn, but I'm not perfect. But thank y'all for getting me where I am today. I really appreciate it. For all the fun times, the serious times, the bad times, the good times, the ups and downs, the all arounds. I'm here, strong, 18 years old, about to turn 19 in November, and just ready to take on life. I think. I'm 90% sure I'm ready to take on life. And to those little kids who surprisingly look up to someone like me, stay in school and tell your friends. Some of your friends need to hear how much you appreciate them. I guess don't say you love them, tell them you appreciate them. It's a whole different thing. Tell your teachers, your parents, your siblings, or your friends that you appreciate them. Tell them how much they mean to you. Thank them for getting you where you are right now. You may be a sixth grader, you may be a second grader, you may be a senior. You have a lot of people in your school right now who you talk to on a daily basis who just can make you laugh. Appreciate them, hug them, especially your parents. Your parents are a big reason where you are right now. Love them. Tell them you love them. For all the kids I made an impact on, I hope I made a positive impact and I did something to show you that life's not always going to go your way. Life's always going to take a left turn when you want to take a right turn. But you have to learn how to get right back on that route that you were going. It's not going to be easy, even if you are a high schooler or an elementary kid. You may not have to pay bills, but everybody has to go through a tough time, even as a child. So do what you can to make your life not a living hell. And to all the parents out there that allowed me to be an impact on your younger kids, thank you. Because I had role models growing up, and it was finally my turn to be a grown man and be the role model that other people were for me as an elementary kid. You know, those kids that are like, oh my gosh, the football players. For a little bit there, I was the football player. Or just the kid that the kids were like, hey, it's Jeremiah, you know? I didn't want to be that, oh my gosh, it's Jeremiah. He's a senior and he thinks he's all that. I wasn't. Just because I was a senior didn't mean I was all that. I was still a normal human being like those children, except for I was just older. And I wanted to show them that an older being could be nice and not be such a hateful human being. So, yeah, thank you, Sudan, for being part of my life for 18 years. And just, I love that town with all my heart. I love Sudan Hornet football. Go Hornets! Shout out to everyone. You know, it's nighttime. I'm surprised I didn't cry. I haven't cried yet. I'm a little emotional. But, you know, keep it short and sweet with you. I love y'all so much. As I go on to new beginnings, just pray for your boy. Always hope for good things. Never pray on my downfall, please. Because I'll know if it's working if you're praying on my downfall. I guess I can finally say I had growing up to do. And I'm still growing up. But life's hitting me with a bunch of curveballs. It's up to me if I want to be an all-American athlete and hit those curveballs to the moon, or if I want to just make it a strike. Bad metaphor, I know, I'm very sorry. But what else can I do? I mean, I'm still learning. There's stuff that I have learned that I have to take into consideration. But on episode 6 of Yapping with Jerm, there wasn't going to be much to talk about except for how I was thankful and how I was going to talk about how there's so much learning I still need to do compared to what I've already learned. The stuff that I have done, the people that have been there, it's taking me to where I'm right now, the road I'm going to take. And I hope that the road I'm taking is the right one that God wants me to take. And like I said, he'll guide me toward a different road if he wants to. But I hope I'm just living up to God's perspective of me, Jeremiah Castillo, you know? Thank you, God, for another day on this planet. I pray for another one. If y'all allow me, I want to pray for y'all. I pray for your safety. I pray for your health. I pray that you go into school and you grab this school year like it's nothing and you just have a blast, you know? Don't forget to have fun. I pray that you make more friends, you get closer to those friends that you already have. I pray that those enemies that you count as enemies either become friends or you just don't have to worry about them no more. I pray that God protects you all as you go into a new school year. I pray for your safety, whether it's sports or just outside of school. I pray that you do your homework at the right time. I pray for your friends. I pray for all you teachers. And Lord, just protect them, keep them safe, and forgive them for any sins that they may commit or already have committed or are committing right now. I pray for all of y'all when I go to sleep. You may not believe it because some people say that and they don't stand on business when they mean it. But as many chances I get, I love to pray for y'all. And I hope that quick prayer I just said really helps y'all notice that I'm not praying for your downfall, even if you're my enemy. I want you to do good in life because people are going to count me as an enemy too, and they're either praying on my downfall or like, you know what, let me be a grown person and know that they deserve success too as much as I do. Your greatest enemy deserves them as much success as you do too, because you're considered their enemy too, and they can easily say, I hope you're not successful. Don't do that. Always pray for someone's uprising, never their downfall. I've spoken on that like 5 times already, but regardless, I'm gonna spit some game to y'all. 1, always, and I mean always, be yourself. Think of it as the 50s versus where we live now. Maybe even earlier. The 40s, the 30s, whatever. There wasn't color TV. It took years for people to make real colors for TV. Meaning that it took forever to people see true colors on the TV. It shouldn't take you that long to show your true colors to your friends or someone you're trying to impress, like a girl or a boy. Be yourself. Don't try to put on this persona that you're someone different if you're not that person. Don't try to be this little hard person. Oh, I can do this. No. Be yourself. And if they don't like you, so what? As people say, there's plenty of fish in the sea. You just have to grab that hook and reel it in. Don't ever be a different person besides yourself. 2, enjoy school. I graduated and I'm going to realize how much I miss school. I already do. But when I'm in college and I work until I'm going to be like, I miss school. I miss my friends. I'm going to miss college when I graduate, I bet you. I'm going to take it one step at a time. Take high school or elementary one step at a time and don't rush it. Love your friends. I'm not going to say love your homework because that'd be contradicting. But just notice that school is a big part of your life that you need to take advantage of. And don't try to make it go fast. 3, whenever you're trying to change, do it for yourself. I know I said always be yourself, and always be yourself, but if you need to change something in your life, don't do it because another person told you to. Do it because you know it's going to advantage you in the long run. If you need to change what you're doing on weekends, whether it be going to the wall or studying for that test you have on Monday, change for the best. If you're a smarty pants, you could still use studying. Nobody's perfect. Just always be willing to make the right decision, even if you don't want to. Because some people say bad decisions lead to good memories, but good decisions leads to good future. And a good future means a good life. And a good life means you'll never be sad. Who does not want genuine happiness? But doing something you love and being passionate about it and knowing that you love it, oh my gosh, the love you get from that is untouchable. I hope that I learned something this episode. As like I said before, there's nobody except for me now on this 6th episode. This is my goodbye to y'all. Goodbye to all my student friends. I love y'all. Goodbye to my mom. Even though I'll post this by the time I'm still at home and not in college. But this will be the final episode before I can start uploading while, of course, in Abilene. And I don't know how long it'll be before I upload another one while I'm in Abilene. But just know that this is the final one before I leave for college. So I love y'all, student kids. Thank y'all for always enjoying Jerm's company. Goodbye. I'm not gonna cry. Um, Goodbye to all the parents that believed in me that weren't my parents. Uh, Goodbye to my brothers. Goodbye to my family. It's not forever, but it's for a while. I'm going to do new beginnings by myself. No help from the people that I've known for years. New people will be there to help me or not help me because I have to grow up. I love y'all. Episode 6 of Yapping with Jerm. I hope y'all enjoyed. Peace.